So our latest Home Secretary, Suella Braverman, if I've got that right, if I haven't, terribly sorry. This is the replacement from Pretty Disappointment, or Pretty Awful, or pick your nickname. And I don't know if you remember Pretty Awful, Priti Patel, came out and said, I'm going to reduce people coming across the channel. Truth is that actually under her office, it got worse and worse and worse. Record numbers. So this new woman, Suella, I believe that's her name, sounds a lot like Sue Ellen, and I can't help thinking about Dallas, but there you go. This woman apparently is different. And this is the thing. Every time we get a new government or a new leader, they're going to do all these things and we believe it. And then when they don't do it, we don't actually hold them to account or take any notice. But anyway, I digress. So that she said she wants zero amount of boats coming across the channel. Lovely, brilliant, all for it, right? However, apparently the Home Office are not happy. I think the Home Office is not happy about this, or certainly the people who will implement her decisions and policies. They're not happy. They're very up in arms. They're distraught about this. Why would you be distraught? Now, I can't help thinking, right, that the way the press are reporting this, if it's accurate, it's disappointing. If it's not accurate, it's set to breed more divide into this country, right? Sorry, by the way, if this vibrates a bit. I'm driving a tipper that's not loaded at the moment, so you bounce all over the place. Secondly, if you've joined Discord, great, thanks for having, thanks for coming on board. If you haven't, see the video before this. This is how to get into Discord. There was loads on last night, about 50 of you. I was in bed, obviously, because I had to go to work. Right, back to this thing. What we do is we appeal to both sides through this, right? So you've got the traditionalist, the conservative, you've got the nationalist, you've got the person who loves his country and hates all this immigration and thinks that it's bad for the country, which obviously it fucking is, right? However, what you've got is you've got the left then. Now, I've worked out there's many subsections of left, but generally speaking, many of the people within the civil service have been either brainwashed, or they've gone through common purpose, which is equal brainwashing, right? Or generally speaking, they're probably to the left, or worse still, they've been bullied into this way of thinking that if they were to speak out and say something different within that, their career would cease to go any further. And that is the problem. Although I've had people from the civil service anonymously ring in when I was doing a live stream and say that not everybody in there thinks like this. So that's good to know. However, the subsections of left, this is the way I see it. And it's only my opinion, right? You've got the ones who are disingenuous. They don't believe what they say, but they say for virtue. And they virtue signal really hard, and they think it makes them look good and gives them credibility. Then you've got the misguided, right, who are not disingenuous. They're just listening to what everybody else is saying, and that also comes under naive. Then you've got the next section, which is they just love everybody. They want to help everybody. They generally think, because they don't know any different, that these people coming across the channel have been in some form of misery or suffering or whatever it is, and that we should help them. And I like those people, even though they're misguided. I like them because they've got humanity. And then you've got the other section, which is the ones that don't give two flying fucks. All they want to do is do whatever the right hate, because they hate the right. Now, I always hark back to places like Northern Ireland. The Catholics do exactly what opposite to the Protestants because they want to. It's the war that carries on. But the divide and rule thing, this is the important thing, right? We're in a society at the moment where our government is trying to split us down into loads and loads of different sections, where we feel disenfranchised to anybody else. We don't feel any attachment to them. If they don't believe exactly what I'm saying, they're the enemy, which is wrong. You don't have to believe in everything the opposition say. I mean, take socialism. I fucking hate socialism, but there are a few tenets of it that I believe in. So, you know, there's good bits about everything. And going forward, with regards to the left, as they wake up, right, they may well change their policies. But there are some good people amongst them. But as I say, the papers are going to try and make divide, because divide makes sure that we don't ever come together and hold to account the people that really need it, which are the government, which don't serve the people. It doesn't matter which government you are we're talking about here, because I'm not... do you know what? I'm hard to place. I think going back years ago, I might have been Labour, really. But that was traditional Labour, working man, that kind of stuff. But I don't know, because there was bits of Conservative and bits of Labour, but that was going back so long ago, and they literally are nothing like they used to be. And neither Labour nor Conservative looks after its people, certainly doesn't stand by any of the original, I don't know what you want to call it, the original principles that it was founded on. None of them do. Liberal Democrats just purely stand for whatever they're doing, we'll do the opposite. But yeah, I mean, they've been totally and utterly infested, and the two-party system is broke, and we'll never get anything else in there. Certainly not without some sort of, but I hate to say it, the word revolution makes me want to puke, because it's been used by so many champagne wankers out there that actually have no intention of ever rolling up their sleeves and doing anything to get anything done. They'll talk romantically about this great revolution that's coming, but it'll be the cheap seats that fucking have to do it for them, because they'll sit back and they'll control from their armchair and tell you if you're doing a good job or a bad job, and you know, you fight and die for the cause. Really? Are you going to do it? Oh, no, I'll stay back here and tell you how to do it. Yeah, fuck off, mate. So we get a lot of that. However, until that two-party system and that government and all the rest of it is replaced with something a lot more honest and a lot more accountable, and also people that weren't hereditary put in there, because if we have hereditary peers and hereditary this, they're coming out the same meat grinder with the same values, serving the same people, and we'll get fucked over the same. Things will never change. I had a mate say to me once years ago, if things don't change, they'll stay the same, and I laughed at that. But it's true. It is true. We keep going through the same process and nothing changes, and we're surprised by this, which we shouldn't be surprised about. But we will never ever achieve anything by the ballot, because if voting made a difference these days, they wouldn't let us do it. I don't know whether many of you have noticed that when anything new comes out, any new party or whatever, they either don't get reported on at all, or the system turns on them, right? And that's it. Take for instance UKIP. UKIP started doing really, really well going back in time, right? Farage was leading something there that he was literally selling it very well to us, and he was promising us all sorts of stuff that it sounded like a good deal. It sounded great. I was on board with it, and he wanted to get us a referendum, and he got us one. And then we had the referendum, and basically we won the deal to pull out of the European Union, at which point he jacked. But say for instance he hadn't jacked, say for instance he'd stayed there and kept being genuine about what he was saying and doing, then UKIP, well, if it hadn't been the system that we have now, which is, can't remember what they call it, but anyway, if it hadn't been that system, then UKIP probably would have won. Now, if he'd have stayed there, there is a very real chance that even with the system now, that he could have won. But no, he left, and the people from within the party collapsed the party, and then when Gerard Batten came along and took it out of debt and put it back into the black, etc., just labelled them all racists and literally killed off any chance of people coming to the party, because nobody wants to be tainted with the word racism, even though it means fuck all these days. So this is where we are. So it's divide and rule, okay, and stick with the same. And this is the problem we have. And I can't help but notice it when I'm looking at these papers. They are literally disingenuous about everything they do, right? Everything they report on. And all they are is to stir left up against right and make the divide worse. Stir black up against white, and all the fakes up against each other. All they do is play one off against the other and keep this problem going. If we all, say for instance, so this is a fucking dream, so just don't think I'm taking this seriously, but if we all woke up tomorrow morning and we all got along and we all turned around to each other and said, we've been fucked, the system itself would break out in arseholes and shit itself to death. Bless her. Little kid on a bike. Go on, kid. So anyway, I mean, it's a lovely dream. And if it did happen, it's just... And if this happened worldwide, literally, within about 48 hours, right, you could do away with globalism quite quickly, right? A lot of it, anyway. But here's the thing. If everybody came together, right, and started to pull literally the globalism apart, and the shit rules and the shit ideas and all the rest of it, and if it looked like that we were going to make a much, much fairer world where certain people just didn't own everything and take the piss out of everybody, right, and that little people didn't have to work quite so much because their money would go further, and you know, all of that lot. If it actually looked like the little people were going to take back control, the big people would just push a button and nuke the fucking planet. They would never ever let you have control of this place. Never. They will never let up the reins of power. I'm being a bit hyperbolic there, right? About the nuking us, but they couldn't ever have you lot run the place. I mean, God forbid. You lot are nothing more than fucking cattle to these people. You're certainly too stupid to ever know what you want. And I do believe that there's a lot of people in the genuine public that aren't very wired up right. They're not that bright, whatever. I'm not saying I am clever, but when you listen to some people talk, you're like, have you actually thought that through? Do you actually know what you're saying? The truth is they don't. But they're not being educated, because what's worse? A clued up, educated, fucking fit person, or some dumbed down sheep that doesn't know any better, that's fucking bloated out of all proportions on fucking McDonald's with mental health problems because they've been trained to have it. Says me with a belly. But you know what I mean? Anyway, I just thought I'd have that little thought process with you. I want to know what you think. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Stop that. And yeah, come and join us in Discord. I'm in Discord literally most of the week. And as I say, God knows, we gained extra 100 people or so yesterday. All different people, all talking about lots of different stuff. And I mean lots of different stuff. Some of it you're like, fuck, you know. We've got everything from, like, I would say we've got up to the far right in there to sort of left leaning, right? Now, I have a set of rules in there that I won't allow anything that's extreme. Because any extremism, they just take the channel down. I mean, I want to hear what everybody's got to say, but if people break out, because you know how keyboard warriors want to make out that they're all this and all that. It's like going back in the past, people always say, I knew the craze. All right, did you? Or I used to drive for the craze. Yeah, of course you did, mate. People always want to make themselves out to be more than they are in an online community, because that's just the way it is, I've noticed. I don't know why, but that is. But if you're going to come in, please don't give it the war hero and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, because you just won't last. It's a chat room, for fuck's sake. It's not an organisation, do you know what I mean? But I do want to hear what your ideas are. I do want to hear what you think about politics, society, what your personal experiences are, what you've learned. All of these things. Now, it's not just me that wants to learn this. The others in there want to hear it. And they want to hear off you, and you will probably want to hear off them. So, go to the video before this. I think it's about a minute long, so it's not going to bore you. And then click on the link in that description. And if I can organise my shit, I might even put a link in this description, but I'm fucking flat out, right? And come join us. And I'll be on there today, so you can come speak to me. There is a set of rules in there. It's always advisable to read the rules, right? And if you come in, and if you're capable of doing so, just say hi, I am, in the voice chat, or text in the channel, hi, whatever. And if you're having problems, which a lot of us did, I mean, I'm not tech savvy, not all of us are, but it is fairly straightforward. But if you're having problems, there's always going to be somebody in there that will walk you through it and make it all very simple. And then when you've done that, get the notifications and turn them off, because that thing will ping like a bastard all day long. Other than that, We've got world news, we've got UK news, we've got prepping, text, we've got all sorts, but numerous voice channels. So if you're in one voice channel and it's not to your taste, drop down to the next one and have a different chat with somebody else. So yeah, I'll see you in there later on.